What's going on today, ladies and gentlemen? Today we got another WEN generator. This one is not a warranty. This one is going to be about 3 years old, and the customer states that he can start it with starting fluid and then it dies. And for all of you guys that know, you know, but if you don't know, I'm going to explain it to you. If you spray starting fluid or carburetor cleaner, that's the easiest way to diagnose the problem. Because if it starts up and dies, it's carburetor, because you know it has spark, you know it has compression. Because every machine needs three things to run. It needs spark, compression, and fuel. So what happens is they spray the carburetor cleaner in there, that's the fuel. If it has spark and compression. Now if you spray it in there and you don't start, what's going to happen is you don't have spark or you don't have compression. So you check the spark first. That's the easiest thing. If you have spark, you know it's a compression problem. Then you can move on to the valves. The valves are the second easiest thing to check. Sometimes it's just one 10mm bolt. On this case, it's 4. Pull it off, see if they're moving. But most of the time when you spray the starting fluid in and you pull it, if you hear a backfire, you know instantly it's a valve issue. But I'm going to take the customer's word. I'm not even going to try it. I'm just going to clean the carburetor, and we're going to put it back together and see if it starts. So let's get right into that repair. Box style. So right off the bat, we know that's going to need 8mm to take off the air filter box, 2 10s, and that stupid one in the back, but we're just going to pull it down. So to be honest, all we need is a 10mm, an 8mm, a pair of pliers, and a carburetor cleaning kit. Everything's in the description. I also have an Amazon shop. So if you just want to check out everything I recommend for you to buy, go to my Amazon shop. Link in the description. Okay, let's get right into this repair. Air filter cover. This little piece came off. Not that big of a deal. Well, to be honest, ladies and gentlemen, it turns out that this little one doesn't need the air filter cover part. It's just 2 10s. So that'll make our job a little easier. There's one there, and there's one on the back side here. I actually like this backside one because it makes it easier to get your impact in there. But it's still going to have that stupid 10mm on the back. They should just have it right there in the front to unscrew, but they don't. So we'll just bend that out of the way. And now from here, we could take our needle nose pliers, and I hear this. I could feel that this thing is full of gas too. So as long as that petcock's working fine, should have no problems. I really hate these clamps. Figured after all these years they'd invent something a little better than these clamps that barely work, because most of the time you could just pressure fit them. Hang on. Okay, from here what you're going to do is we're going to pull out the, and I can already see that this one has a fuel shutoff solenoid down here. 90% of the time when these sit a long time, it's those solenoids that fail. Now you can't, but I'm going to show you guys what I do with them. And if it was a warranty, I'd probably just request a new one from WEN, but it's not. So what I'm going to do, and I'll show you what I do. We're going to tip a bunch of gas while I get my Phillips. Okay, we're going to bust out our Phillips. Take it easy. If you strip one of these, it's going to be a pain in the ass to get it back together. Let's take a look. Well, to be honest, that looks fine. But what I like to do is I just like to clip them off, just like that. Now see, now nothing's ever going to block that passageway. So let's get this up on the desk and look at it and see what's wrong with it. Because this carburetor had a fuel solenoid on the bottom of it, it's actually a 14. To undo the bottom nut, that was torqued on there pretty good. What I'm looking now for is obvious signs of clogs. And I'm not seeing, oh yeah, there it is. Okay, look at that. We can see that some of those holes are plugged up there. So let's take this off. Just take your socket and lightly tap it. So what now we'll do is we'll just clean out all these jets. We'll just spray in some carburetor cleaner and taking our needles from our little needle cleaner. I need to get a new one. This one's all bent. I think it fell. Plus look, you can tell I use this a lot. Especially this one here, this thin one. But like I said, all we're going to do Just clean out some of this nasty stuff. We'll spray it with carburetor cleaner. I just want to make sure all these holes are going to be clear. That one's not even a hole, is it? No. Actually, I'm going to undo that one right there. Where's my flathead? I need more flatheads in my life. I got the super big one. See if this works. Well, started it enough for me. You normally don't see this double one right here, so that's kind of different on most carburetors. You normally only see the emulsion tube one. You know that is plugged up. That does have a hole, and it is plugged up. Let's see if we can't clean it out. Maybe it doesn't have a hole, actually. Never mind. No, that plug right there was just from stuff hitting it and the nasty green buildup. That is actually just a plug. Why is it made to look like a jet? I do not know. So that means there should be a second emulsion tube, whatever that is. You normally don't see that, so that's different. Different style of carburetor here, I guess. Well, it's going all the way up, but I don't see where it's going. Oh, there it is. Oh, there is a second emulsion tube. It's going all the way up. Wow, 2 emulsion tubes on that bad boy, huh? Right now I'm just spraying carburetor cleaner in every hole where the pilot jet is here. Now this style is way different. Now, to be honest, with all that clean, this one still needs to be unclogged. That top hole still clogged. We should poke all the way through. Let's get them all unclogged here. I think it's from this gasket too. There we go, now it's all unclogged. So now, to be honest, I think we cleaned it up enough to where we can put this bad boy back together. We're just going to put this plug back in. I wonder if that's a pressure relief or something. I have no idea. I've never really seen that before, that double emulsion tube. And you could tell it's brand new, no one's worked on it. I just erased the mark originally. You think that's cool that you can put a Sharpie on there and it fills with gas? And it never ever goes away, but the second you wipe it, it goes away. That little Sharpie mark on the float. I think they put that in there so if a warranty dealer was to look, they'll see that you were in there if you wiped it off on accident. But like I said, I'm not stressing. So let's put it back on the machine and see what happens. Okay, I'm just going to put it back on the machine and we're going to fire it up. And I'm hoping she just runs beautifully. That's the goal. Let's make sure gas is coming out. Perfect. It looks clean too. That's what we want to see. That's perfect. Put this gasket back on, which also has a plug instead of a hole. I don't know, weird carburetor. Weird carburetor for sure. Oh, hang on. I fucked up. Everybody makes mistakes. See, I'm not used to these things having fuel solenoids, these little tiny ones. Gas would have just been dripping out. Put this fuel solenoid back on. Also, cutting those off will save problems in the future if gas sits in this again. These can be good. They do have their uses, but I think they're kind of useless, in my opinion. Especially on something like this small. You really don't need it. Okay, now that we got that on, let's turn on the gas, make sure there's no leaks. While we put on everything else, looking good, looking good. Carburetor is on. Start these nuts by hand. Always start everything by hand. Number 1 rule. I have a feeling it's going to run now, so I'm just going to go ahead and put back on the air filter and the air filter cover, and we'll give it a run. Now, how many pulls is a different thing. Because if it hasn't ran in a long time, it has to remember what it's supposed to do. That's what I like to say. So we got it choked. Yeah, our power on. Should fire up 1 pull. Ain't nothing to it but to do it. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Cleaning a carburetor on one of these WENs, or even a smaller generator like this. But that carburetor is a little different than most carburetors, so the customer was right. It only ran with starting fluid, so I hope this video helped you in some way. If it did, you know what to do. Hit that like button for me. Also, subscribe. I'm so close to 10,000. Check out all my links. Like I said, I just got an Amazon store. You don't have to purchase anything. It's no extra cost, but I do make some money if you click on any links in the description. So I appreciate you guys, and I hope to see you on the next one.